Off-duty Atlanta police officer. Atlanta News First Niamani Watson is live for us in Buckhead, where this shooting happened. Now, Niamani, you spoke to people who knew this victim.
On 11 Alive, family and friends of a Metro Atlanta man killed by an off-duty Atlanta police officer in Buckhead are demanding justice.
The officer is sued, chased him down, and gunned him down. That's what we know. Have to do with you shoot him in the back 17 times. That means he wasn't facing you. He wasn't a threat. Okay?
Better go get you some money, like, man. Better go get that. I think you better get that. You sit down, watch that TV.
Carbon copies. Don't download it, man. They need copy paste.
Shots out of Club Blaze, man. That's my favorite club.
Why Blaze? Just curious.
Shit, it's the hood. It like it hood and it's close to our side, like the woo. You know what I'm saying? I ain't stepping on no other strip club. You know what I mean? Cause I be all on showing love. You know what I mean? And you know that's home. Like that's home. Like out of all the strip club, they all on show me love. But you know what I mean? Blaze is home. I don't got kicked out of Blaze 2-3 times. You know what I'm saying? But they can't deny me.
Killed by an
Hey, man, you know what I'm talking about? We just bitch gang, you know what I'm talking about? We do this shit on the regular, you know what I'm talking about? We just change the weather when you get ugly up top. Yeah. Dig what I'm saying? Now, you hear me?
Hey, we about saying to the beach.
Now, you feel me? Just throw it on the floor. You know what I mean? You did what I'm saying? Throw this on the floor, just throw it up, you know what I mean? You just gonna get in some more time, some more Gucci bucket. It is what it is.
Man, most of us can agree. When we get older, we try hard not to drag our old pain into every new situation. We try not to let our past shape every room we walk into, every relationship we touch, every moment we live. But for those of us who grew up in the inner city, that mindset hits different when it comes to the police. Not because every cop is out to get us, but because too many of them move the same way. Yeah, their job is dangerous, no doubt, but that's the life they chose when they put on that badge. Still, that don't excuse the way some of them handle things, especially when we've seen the same tactics tear through our neighborhoods for decades. It cuts deep when the person causing the pain looks just like you.
That's Duct Tape niggas in the building, man. Be green, my nigga Pesh.
That's a whole different kind of hurt. Wrong is wrong and right is right, no matter what uniform you wear. Today we're diving into a story out of Atlanta that'll leave you shaking your head. A rapper and his family got caught up in not one, but 2 officer-involved shootings that took the lives of 2 of their loved ones. 2 tragedies, 6 years apart. Can you even imagine that? Most families never face that once, but this family went through it twice. When we talk about the first case, we'll touch on the officer who got indicted but walked away after the charges were dropped. But it's the second case, the one we're breaking down today, that's stirring up the city right now.
Where are you from?
I'm from East Lake Meadow, Little Vietnam to be exact. Zone 6.
The new details that came out in the last 24 hours are wild, and people are talking non-stop. What went down in October had the whole community frozen in disbelief. Word is, this man was shot 17 times, all in the back. 17, that's basically emptying a whole clip. You hear that number and can't help but ask, what really happened out there? Today, we're walking through this story, piece by piece, breaking down the confirmed facts and exposing what's being hidden behind the headlines. We're shining a light on both the victim and the system that stands behind the one who pulled the trigger. Because at some point, we gotta ask the real question. How could anyone call shooting a man 17 times in the back justified? Or is this another one of those moments where the badge is being used as a shield for something that never should have happened in the first place?
Take mafia shit, man. Up here with my nigga Trouble for the video shoot, nigga. Kicking it with the pretty lady Lala. Mob shit to the grave.
Who are you and what do you do?
First of all, I'm Veli Sosa, Duct Tape co-founder, artist and co-founder of Duct Tape Entertainment.
For sure. Record label.
You had a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we did 3 deals.
You had 3 deals, but you had a solo artist deal first, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Correct me.
Yeah.
And Boo.
Yeah, Boo did it.
Boo did the deal.
Boo over at Def Jam, yep.
Mm-hmm. He was at Def Jam.
Yep.
He signed you.
Mm-hmm.
And is that how Duct Tape was created then, or was that?
Hell no. Duct Tape were created 2004, 2005. Me and my partner Veli Sosa, we started a label. Just because everybody else had labels. Gucci and them had So Icy and Jeezy and them had. You know what I'm saying? So we like, shit, this the new way.
Yeah.
Start a record label. So we started a record label. Me and Sosa just fuck around. Neither one of us never rapped before. We were just trying. And then shouts out to Allie come home, Allie boy come home. He was always a rapper since a kid. So that's when we started taking it serious. I got 2 partners. I got a partner from the 4-way named S. Dot and Westside Ricky, and we just, you know what I'm saying, Allie ended up being like a extraordinary artist, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, for sure.
Then Trouble come home, and they both was popping, you know what I'm saying? But man, they both get locked up the same day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I drop a song, that shit end up being a hit song.
So
Try it out.
Try it out.
Try it out. Try it out.
Been a hit song.
So the first song you ever did, or that you dropped, was Try It Out?
Yes.
Wow.
Try it out, girl, get with my family. Try it out, try it out.
This isn't about taking sides, it's about truth. And before we jump deeper into this, remember, I'm not here to spin a story or feed you my opinion. I'm here to lay out what's real so you can see it for yourself. So hit that like, drop a comment, and stay locked in, because what's coming next is going to shake you. We're taking it straight to Zone 6, Atlanta, Georgia, a place stamped in the culture by legends like Future, Gucci Mane, Young Nudy, 21 Savage, and the late Young Scooter. This zone is more than just a spot on the map. It's a heartbeat of struggle, survival, and sound. Long before the fame, before the platinum plaques, before the world tours, these neighborhoods carried stories that never made the radio. Back then, the streets had a name that echoed through every block. Little Vietnam, that's what the news called it, and the people made it stick. And sitting right in the middle of that nickname is one of Atlanta's most infamous zones, East Lake Meadows. The same neighborhood that raised an Atlanta native whose story would soon shake the whole city. He was well known in his city. Some even called him an OG. His real name was Lit Blackwell, but in the rap world, everyone knew him as B Green. He wasn't just another name trying to blow up. He actually did his thing in the booth and earned his stripes long before all this went down. B Green had his moment in the spotlight too. You can still find him on tracks that dropped over a decade ago, including collabs with Bankroll Fresh. May both of them rest in peace. One of his biggest songs, You Ain't Street, still racks up views online. Over 13 million and counting. That's proof his sound left a mark that never faded.
It's a little definitely.
Now, what about the nightlife? Favorite strip club in the city?
My favorite strip club, let me see.
There's a bunch of them.
It's so many of them. I might go to 3 or 4 of them in one night.
But what's your personal favorite?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I like the hood strip club. Shouts out the club Blaze, man. That's my favorite club.
Why Blaze? Just curious.
Shit, it's the hood. It like it hood and it's close to our side, like the Woo. You know what I'm saying? I ain't stepping on no other strip club. You know what I mean? Cause I be all on showing love. You know what I mean? And you know they fuck with me. That's home. Like that's home. Like out of all the strip club, Woo, they all on show me love. But you know what I mean? Blaze is home. I don't got kicked out of Blaze 2-3 times. You know what I'm saying? But they can't deny me. So I shouts out the club late.
Now here's where things get real interesting. B Green was affiliated with DTE, which reportedly stands for Duct Tape Entertainment. But don't get it twisted. DTE wasn't just another label chasing fame. It was a movement straight out of Atlanta's streets, built on loyalty, hustle, and respect, long before social media turned the game into clout chasing. The label was tied to Big Bank Black, one of the movement's founders and a familiar voice from the Big Facts podcast. A man who came from the struggle and turned every obstacle into a victory. His name still holds serious weight in the city. Alley Boy, one of Atlanta's rawest artists, built up a rep as a straight-up enforcer, loud, fearless, and impossible to ignore. Then there was Trouble, a real legend out of Edgewood, known for keeping respect from both sides of the city. They weren't chasing fame under some big record label. They were brothers using music as a way out, not the other way around. Their whole movement was built on loyalty, realness, and never folding, no matter who stood in front of them. DTE's name didn't come from social media buzz or internet beef. It came from the streets of Atlanta and the neighborhood alliances that backed them. They weren't about gimmicks, they were about sticking together for real. That's where the name Duct Tape came from. The message was clear. We stick together, we silence opposition. That's the PG-13 version, but everybody from the city knew the energy behind it. Now that we've laid out who we're talking about, where he came from, and the crew he was connected with, it's time to shift focus to his story.
Only on 11 Alive, family and friends of a Metro Atlanta man killed by an off-duty Atlanta police officer in Buckhead are demanding justice. 44-year-old Linton Blackwell was shot in a parking lot behind a bar on October 11th. Tonight, an autopsy report reveals Blackwell was shot 17 times and nearly every single bullet hit him in the back. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn has been following the story since the night it happened, and just hours ago, he filed this report after speaking with Blackwell's manager, who says he just wants justice for his best friend.
My name is Timothy Coleman, and I'm Linton Blackwell's manager.
Born and raised in Metro Atlanta.
Preferably from the some projects called East Lake Meadows, aka Little Vietnam, which we rep proudly. We got it on the shirt right here.
44-year-old Linton Blackwell, better known in the local music scene as B Green, but more importantly, a father, brother, and son.
Big old family from the East Lake Meadows. I mean, a loving family, man, and I just hurt for him, man. You know, he just leaves a lot behind.
Blackwell was shot and killed by Atlanta police officer Gerald Walker, who was off duty working a side job in Buckhead at 5 Paces Inn.
I just fell to my knees because I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe that it was 17 times in the back. Like all the shots. It's not one shot in the front. It's all 17 in the back.
Everyone agrees an altercation happened at the bar.
Linton, I guess, was escorted out of the premises or whatnot.
The GBI says Officer Walker approached Blackwell outside, followed him around the corner.
The officer ensued, chased him down, and gunned him down. That's what we know.
The GBI says Blackwell got into a vehicle and put something in the back of his waistband.
If he wasn't pointing a gun at you or doing anything, what does that have to do with you shooting him in the back 17 times? That means he wasn't facing you. He wasn't a threat. Okay?
The officer gave commands regarding a gun before the officer opened fire.
I want him locked up. Gerald Walker needs to be behind bars.
The GBI is still investigating. Once they finish, the case will be handed over to the DA to decide whether a grand jury will consider charges. Atlanta police also conducting their own internal investigation.
B Green was the kind of guy who loved being out and about. He'd pull up to different venues all over Atlanta just to vibe and enjoy the night. He even joked before about getting kicked out of a local strip club more than once, but still going back because he loved the atmosphere too much to stay away. That alone says a lot. Getting kicked out didn't make him bitter. It showed he knew how to handle himself, laugh it off, and move on. And the fact that the spot let him come back again, that's key. It showed there was no bad blood, no grudges, just a man who loved the nightlife and knew how to keep it cool. That detail right there plays a big part in understanding what happened next. So now we know B Green liked to be out in the mix, enjoying himself wherever the night took him. And on October 12th, 2025, around 11:30 p.m., it was no different. That night, he decided to stop by a local bar called 5 Paces Inn, a well-known spot sitting off Irby Avenue in northwest Atlanta, Georgia. Working security nearby that night was Officer Gerald Walker, an off-duty cop pulling an extra shift.
Murder charges against Sung Kim, a former Atlanta police officer who shot and killed Jimmy Atchison back in 2019.
Judge Michael Brown ruled Atchison's death a, quote, textbook self-defense case that should not move forward. But Atchison's family says, Atchison's family, as well as the Georgia NAACP, are calling now on the Fulton County District Attorney to appeal. 11 Alive's Grace King is live outside of the DA's office tonight. So, Grace, you spoke with Atchison's father earlier today. What did he have to say?
Well, his father, Jimmy Hill, said he's hurt and angry that a federal judge dismissed the charges against former officer Sung Kim. He says that decision should have been left up to a jury like the one that originally indicted Kim back in 2022. In 2019, Jimmy Hill lost his son, Jimmy Atchison, to gunfire.
He was at full excitement, full of joy, full of laughter.
6 years later, he worries he'll lose his quest for justice, too.
He was robbed of life. This is a broken system, and it needs to be fixed.
A federal judge dismissed all charges against Sung Kim Tuesday, the veteran Atlanta police officer who shot and killed Atchison while executing a warrant with an FBI Joint Task Force in 2019. The judge wrote the evidence for self-defense is so overwhelming, it's hard to understand how Georgia could have brought these charges in the first place, much less continued with them over the 2.5 years since. But Atchison's dad says his son was unarmed, hiding in a closet and given conflicting commands.
I was in shock. I was hurt. I was angry. I was enraged. I was upset because you had all these different, you had the inconsistencies in the stories.
A Fulton County grand jury indicted Kim on felony murder and involuntary manslaughter charges in 2022, but the case was eventually moved to federal court.
And it's like they're being overlooked and locked out. Like it's like what they say didn't matter.
Hill hopes District Attorney Fonnie Willis will appeal this new ruling so his son's case can stay alive.
No, wrong is wrong no matter who says it. And it is wrong anymore to seek to escape the consequences of one act.
Kim retired from APD in 2019, but I did speak with his attorney, Don Samuel, over email today. He told me it's hard to celebrate when a young man is dead, but that this shows that it was an inexcusable abuse of prosecutorial discretion to prosecute in the first place. Live in Fulton County, Grace King, 11 Alive News.
Things took a turn when bar staff called him over, saying they had a disruptive patron causing a scene. That person turned out to be B. Green, 44 years old, who had reportedly tried to re-enter the bar through the back parking lot on Canis Hill Place. According to investigators, they claim B. Green walked to his car, grabbed something, and tucked it into his waistband right before Officer Walker shouted commands about a gun and then opened fire. But here's where everything starts getting messy. Authorities said they recovered a firearm at the scene, but never confirmed if it even belonged to B. Green. It could have been anything. His phone, his keys, nobody really knows for sure. And here's the part that's breaking people's hearts. How was he a threat if he was shot in the back? At first, reports said he was hit 14 times, but no one gave any explanation for why so many shots were fired. Then, just 3 weeks later, around mid-November 2025, investigators updated their findings, saying the officer had actually emptied the entire clip, hitting B. Green 17 times, all in the back. 17 shots, fam. That's beyond excessive. It's devastating. May B. Green rest in peace, and prayers up for his family who are still trying to make sense of this tragedy. When it comes to B. Green's family believing they'll ever see justice, that hope's starting to look thinner by the day. The pain runs deep for them, and it's not just because of B. Green's case. His cousin, Jimmy Hill, already went through his own heartbreak when he lost his son, Jimmy Atkinson, years earlier in another officer-involved shooting. That incident went down on January 22nd, 2019, involving an officer identified as Son Kim, who has since retired. What makes it worse? Jimmy wasn't even armed. The officer did get indicted eventually, but a federal judge later dismissed the case. And here's the wild part. It took 4 long years before the district attorney even decided to bring that murder charge forward. 4 years of waiting, pain, and no closure. So for this family, facing a second tragedy like this, it's beyond heartbreaking. 2 loved ones gone, both taken by officers years apart, and still no real justice. Rest in peace to Jimmy, and rest in peace to B. Green. Their names deserve to be remembered. Much love and condolences go out to both families. Because when you step back and really look at everything we just broke down, the names, the history, the pain, the patterns, it all hits hard. 2 relatives 6 years apart, both losing their lives in encounters with the very people who are supposed to protect the community. That's not something any family should ever have to carry. You can feel why this situation shook not just Atlanta, but people all across the country. It's more than just another headline, it's another deep wound for a family that's already lived through trauma most couldn't even imagine. And now, with the truth coming out that B. Green was shot 17 times in the back, the community isn't asking for revenge, they're asking for truth, transparency, and real accountability. Because let's be real, accountability rarely shows up unless the people force it into the room. Folks are tired of the same story playing out again and again with the same ending and no justice in sight. So now I'm asking you, was this shooting justified, or was it another life taken under the shield of a badge? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear how you feel about this one. These conversations matter more than most people realize, and the truth only spreads when we talk about it loud and clear. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe so more people can hear stories that deserve to be told. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay aware, stay real, and keep pushing for truth.